Bryant City Media. We are live at FedEx Forum where the Memphis Grizzlies are getting set to take on the Washington Wizards. I'm Lang Whitaker. He's Michael Wallace. And we're here to get you ready for this big game tonight. The Grizzlies are 5-4. The Wizards are 2-4. And the Grizzlies are looking to make it 3 straight wins at home tonight against this Wizards team. I guess the big story coming into tonight is the Grizzlies are coming off that Lakers game the other night, which I think a lot of people looked at as sort of a measuring stick early on in this season for this Grizzlies team. The Lakers were without Anthony Davis, of course. But the Grizzlies really came to play that night.
They definitely came to play that night. And you talked about the balance that this team has played with, Lang, all throughout the season, especially in their victories. I mean, you're talking about, 10, 11 guys averaging double figures in minutes. You got multiple guys scoring 20 points. 3 different players scored 20 points in that game against the Lakers. And even though Ja Morant went down, midway through that second half, the Grizzlies increased their lead at that point. So one key thing that you just said, give me the records one more time for the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies are 5-4. Wizards are 2-4.
2-4. What does that tell you?
One team's won more games than the other.
Not only that, one team has played 3 more games than the other, right? Yeah. Already. So the Grizzlies right now are playing game number 10. There are not many NBA teams that have played 10 games through the first 2 weeks of the season, 2+ weeks of the season. That tells you how busy the Grizzlies have been in this erratic start to the season.
Yeah, but the Grizzlies had 3 players go for 20 points in that game, Jaren, Ja, and rookie Jalen Wells, who had another big game, who's been starting. Looked great so far. We had Grizzlies 17 of 34 from 3, really dominating from the three-point line, making 50% of their shots. And I think that three is when the three-pointers are going, it's sort of symbiotic. It opens up the stuff in the paint. When the paint's going, it opens up the 3 looks.
Yes.
It all kind of works together. Santi Aldama actually talked about it to you after that game the other night and talked about how the Grizzlies are playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's there. We just gotta, kind of do it every night. I think we've seen it on our wins. Like we had fun, we got it. Like we play our solid basketball. But on our losses, like it's not always there. We've struggled to maybe do it consistently, and that's something Coach, pressed on. Like at the beginning of the year, just sustaining our way of playing, and we just gotta do it. Like sometimes we've started this way, like win loss. Like now we gotta get win, and kind of get the ball rolling.
We talked about points in the paint. That's something Taylor Jenkins has talked about for the last few years now. It's been a point of emphasis for this Grizzlies team. The last 4 games, the Grizzlies have had 60-plus points in the paint every game. They had 60 in the paint against the Lakers, 66 against Brooklyn, 70 against the Sixers, 68 against Milwaukee. Grizzlies right now number 1 in the NBA in points in the paint, averaging 61 points in the paint per game. Half their points are coming from points in the paint. Yeah. I mean, part of that, I guess, is Zach Edey, Brandon Clark, some of the bigs that have been doing great things for the Grizzlies. But I think it really speaks more towards this offense they're running, and they're getting these open looks in the paint.
Yeah, and what you're doing is transition buckets, fast break buckets count as points in the paint, right?
Yeah.
When Ja Morant and other guys, Scottie Pippen and guys are getting into the lane and creating, that's points in the paint. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. over his last 3 or 4 games has been consistently trying to dictate his size and his physicality advantage, and you're seeing that play off. You're seeing even this guy behind us right here, Santi Aldama, even though he's working on his 3-point ball, he's handling the ball a lot more, and he's trying to get in the paint as well, too. And guess what, Lang? When you catch lobs, where do you finish at? In the paint.
Yeah.
In the paint.
Yeah, the other thing I think, rebounding was something that the first week of the season was kind of a red flag. I think we saw some of those numbers, and you're like, oh no, this is not trending the right direction. Right. Since then, it's kind of normalized a little bit, and been actually, the Grizzlies have had the advantage on rebounds in some of these games.
That's Yvonne right there. Trying to join us. Come on in, man.
Sorry,
it's your second.
You're good.
I apologize.
It's all good, baby. Guess why?
Grizzlies assistant coach. The Grizzlies are out rebounded the Lakers 50-37. They're actually averaging 8th in the NBA in terms of rebounding. They've done a pretty good job since that first stretch of games, I think, kind of figuring out how within the offense to crash the offensive glass and to box out on the other end.
Yeah, and you're talking about, Ja Morant had a triple-double during that stretch, right? You're having your guards show up and rebound. You're having a team effort when it comes to going to the glass. Yeah. Santi Aldama told me and talked to me about the tag philosophy that this team has right now, where they're positioning themselves when a ball goes up, okay, I'm going this way, tag, you got the inside, right? Yeah. And that's what you got to go do to go chase the ball and pursue them. They're going up against a Wizards front line. Jonas Valanciunas is a guy that eats rebounds as well, too. So you have to be able to keep guys off the offensive glass, but also make sure that you're limiting opponents to 1 possession. That's been key over the last stretch when the Grizzlies are winning games.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier John Morant with that triple-double. The Grizzlies have had injury bad luck so far this season, and we got some more news from the Lakers game. John Morant got fouled on that play. They didn't call the foul. Went down, listed initially as a hamstring, and then tonight Taylor Jenkins told us it's actually more of a hip as far as they can tell.
Yeah, he talked about John Morant obviously going to get some imaging over the last couple of days after he suffered that injury on Wednesday against the Lakers. Today is Friday. Ja has some more tests done today. He's got another round of imaging and evaluations tomorrow before the Grizzlies leave on their 3-game West Coast trip to starts on Sunday against Portland. So Ja, his timeline will be determined closer to what comes out of tomorrow's evaluations, and we'll see how long this is going to last. He didn't really want to talk about it the other night in the locker room. He just said, I'm good, but you knew he wasn't good. And right now the Grizzlies are going to have to get through this next stretch of games, at least tonight and possibly Sunday, without John Morant.
Conchar is also listed as questionable in the last injury report we got. I haven't seen him yet tonight, so I assume we'll get some update.
Yes.
Probably any minute now.
On John in terms of his status. He's been dealing with that thigh contusion, that leg. He told me he's getting closer. It's just a matter of how much do you want to push it before, without risking any further injury. We did get some good encouraging news from Vince Williams Jr., who was basically allocated to the Memphis Hustle for their practice yesterday. And Taylor Jenkins told us before the game that Vince is still continuing to trend towards a healthy return. Now he's going to go on the road with the Grizzlies this coming trip and get some play groups in, some scrimmaging against other players, some practice time in, and then we may see him in somewhere between 1 week to 3 weeks is now the updated time frame, depending on how he recovers and how he builds his conditioning from that point.
And I think everyone else that was out is still out.
Still out, still week to week, day to day, like we all are, from that standpoint.
What do you think happens to the Grizz backcourt rotation tonight without Ja? I assume Scottie Pippen probably gets the start.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have Ja, you don't have Marcus, right? So you're down 2 guards right there.
You don't have Bane.
Who's another ball handler. Jitty's out there, so you're going to have Scottie Pippen. Yuki is going to be a break glass in case of emergency, and I think it can get to an emergency pretty quickly, especially against a Washington team. This is a team. Yes, you're down 6 guys, but this is a rebuilding team as well here too. When you talk about the Wizards, so it's going to be Scottie Pippen Jr. But then you got to have your bigs initiate offense. You're going to have Santi handle the ball.
Probably
You're going to have Kennard handle the ball as a backup point guard, so to speak, too. So it's just a matter of how these rotations are going to look. I'm interested to see.
This Wizards team's so young. Someone told me the other night they had a lineup out there and 4 of the 5 guys weren't allowed to drink. They're all 80% of the lineup was
under 21.
The Untouchables or like the Prohibition lineup or something. They got a really young team, and one of their veteran guys, who's actually one of their better players, Kyle Kuzma, out tonight. Still out with a groin injury.
So you got Bub Carrington, you got Alexander Sarr, both of those guys in the starting lineup. You got George is in there too. You got basically three rookies.
Jordan Poole's going to get some shots up.
Jordan Poole will get some shots up, but Sarr is the rookie, obviously. Carrington is the rookie, but then the second-year player in Bilal Coulibaly, right? I know I butchered his name, but
he's been great though.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. So they're trending, they're going somewhere with this core, and this team is rebuilding, though, man. So they can be dangerous if you let them get some confidence.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Jessica Benson's going to join us, and we're going to talk about tonight's main character. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
We got to talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie has inked that contract. He is now officially off the two-way. He is a member of the regular rotation.
Well-deserved, from my opinion. He straight up earned this one from all the time put in last season with the injuries to Summer League.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I will take Happy Feet. Give me Happy Feet. Hugh Jackman plays Memphis, the Penguin dad in Happy Feet. I love it. Beautiful message. The tap dancing.
Oh, that was great.
Give me Happy Feet.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
If I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
One of the things I really do like about the history of the Memphis Grizzlies is that we have people who have moved here and stayed here. I like how much some of those guys have not only made millions here and won games here, but spent real time here and raised children here.
Yes.
And become a real part of the community.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker. I'm joined now by Jessica Benson here courtside as the Grizzlies get ready to take on the Washington Wizards. It's Friday night. It's Military Appreciation Night. I forgot to hold up. Thanks to Ashley Furniture, we get the medallion, the dog tag when people come in tonight. I think the first 5,000 fans get one. Jessica joins us every show, and we talk about the main character. Who's tonight's main character?
So I shifted my main character following Taylor Jenkins' availability.
Okay.
It's now Scottie Pippen Jr.
Ooh.
And it might be Scottie Pippen Jr. for
Who was it before that?
a minute. It was the rookies.
Okay.
Battle of the rookies. You have Bub Carrington and Alex Sarr on the Wizards, and you have Zach Edey and Jalen Wells. And how many opportunities are you going to see two rookies starting against two rookies in the NBA? Not many, and we can get into how that factors into tonight's matchup. However, with Scottie Pippen Jr. having to be the starting point guard. I won't say only point guard because Yuki Kawamura is on this roster. But with the news that John Morant is going to have another consultation tomorrow, that it is hip soreness, but also some hip and hamstring discomfort following that injury that he sustained on the dunk attempt against the Lakers. And this is an opportunity for Scottie Pippen Jr. to once again run this offense, something that we saw him have to do more than expected last season with the Grizzlies, and now he might have to do it for, I don't want to set any sort of timetable. We don't know any timetable officially, but at least for tonight, it will be his job.
Michael and I were talking about how if tonight, at least, if it gets to it like a break glass in case of emergency, Yuki's probably might have to play some minutes, and it could get to an emergency situation pretty quick tonight because after Scottie, he's the only other real point guard on the roster. And we've seen Scottie have foul trouble, have instances where, he can't stay on the floor for extenuating circumstances. So I think if you're the Grizzlies, you're hoping to stay out of foul trouble, play as many minutes as you want to tonight. Because when he's on the floor, I think Scottie's so good at not only just running the offense. I was actually thinking about it. He kind of reminds me of Tyus Jones a little bit. Like, he can score, he can run the offense. But I think defensively, too, like, he raises things for the Grizzlies team.
Absolutely. And from the offensive side of this, the newly implemented Grizzlies offense does create more of a flow where everybody's cutting, everybody's passing, everybody's a ball handler. And you did get Luke Kennard back. He played his first game against the Lakers and is available yet again tonight. You have John Conchar back in the mix. So a lot of people who can. But one of the things that we've seen with this team, even when John Morant has played, is the turnovers have been a problem. And so that is something that they'll really have to focus on. But for a group that has faced injury challenges before, this does remind me a little bit of last season. I know we like to put last season in a box, close the lid, and never open it. But for Jaren Jackson Jr., we even saw some point Jaren last season by necessity at certain points, just bringing the ball up the court. And now he once again is playing without John Morant, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart. He might be having some flashbacks tonight.
I think I see over my shoulder the big drizzle.
I'm being kicked out. I'm being kicked out.
Come on. Jessica Benson, appreciate your time.
I thought you were giving me a fist pump.
I was trying. We're just gonna move it on the fly today. We're just going on the fly today because my guy's in town.
Oh, so we on right now?
On.
Oh,
we're
this
live.
is how you do it.
We're live. Look,
Okay.
we're live right now.
Let's get
courtside with the Grizzlies legend, former lottery pick, 2002 draft.
Hey, if I'm a Grizzlies legend,
that's true. Good.
In 90 days, I'll take it. I was here for about 90, maybe almost 100 days.
You got traded the trade deadline? That first
February.
year before that? Before the trade deadline?
Yeah. So it was a quick stint. So if I'm a legend, I'll take it.
Somebody told me today that they have a dog that's named Cooper because you had a commercial here when you were here for those 3 months where you were talking with someone and they were like, well, North Parkway goes east-west, and someone out there, well, which pitch goes this way, and you go, Sam Cooper. And the way you said it was so great, he named his dog Cooper after you. Drew Gooden, now you're with Monumental Sports Network doing these Wizards games, traveling around. When you think back on your time here, like what do you remember?
Remember all the games being held at the Bass Pro Shop. Yeah. For one, practice was at Rhodes College, which was a D3 all-girls school. I don't know if that's even still in existence.
It's still here.
Okay, I remember all the rookies had one locker room to share in training camp there. It was the dog days of the NBA, and Memphis was just now.
It was so new here.
It was new,
and
a new NBA city, and I love the history now that's grown in the last 20 plus years in the city. You see the development. It's just a lot of positive stuff, a lot of positive vibes going around in Memphis.
Jerry West drafted you, right?
Yes, he did. R.I.P. Jerry West.
R.I.P. Jerry West. Who was the coach?
Sidney Lowe.
Sidney Lowe.
We had Sidney Lowe for about 7 games. Him and Jay Will clashed his in Denver one night. The next day he was on the first day smoking. Yeah.
You ended up playing a lot of different places. Went to the finals with the Cavaliers. I don't know, like you played in so many different places. When you look back on it, where do you feel like was your home?
You know what? Playing on 10 different teams is kind of hard to call one NBA city home. But best experience playing-wise, it had to be Cleveland.
Yeah.
Had to be Cleveland. But I loved all the cities I played in, especially now that you're older, because when you're walking through these airports, these terminals, past these gates, San Antonio, Memphis, Kansas, and college, I mean, I have a conversation that can be had through all those different gates at the airport.
A lot of them are connecting flights too. You can't direct from those different places.
Yeah.
I told someone the other day I came to see you when you were in Kansas to do a story for Slam magazine, and I remember we were walking around doing something, and you're like, "Hey, let's go sit over here right now. We need to go sit over here on this outdoor area." And I was like, "All right." And we go sit down. And you're like, "Yeah, the class is about to get out. Bunch of the girls are going to come out right now."
It might have been West Coast. That might have been West Coast. We called that the beach.
I remember that we went and sat in Roy Williams' office and went all around that campus.
You got to think. I mean, I was doing the Slam Diary, rookie diary, but that was when I was in college.
But we started the NBA diary because I had such a good time hanging out with you.
Yeah.
And I got back to the Slam office. I was like, "Yo, this guy's amazing. He is so funny and he's a great personality. We should just start an NBA diary just so we can use him in the magazine and keep him in there."
You know what? That was a great experience.
I cleaned it up a lot.
And the relationships we had over the years was the best.
Yeah.
I think just me and you over the years staying in contact and being able to sit here next to you is awesome.
What this Wizards team, a lot of young guys. Someone told me the other night they had a lineup where 4 of the 5 guys were under 21 years old. Super young guys. How have you seen them? I know it's early. Are you starting to see something there?
It's I would say they're learning. It's a young group, young core group.
Really,
they're competing, and you have to love what you're seeing early on with this group. Bub Carrington is playing awesome. Alex Sarr is playing amazing. And then when you put the veteran pieces in play, Bilal Coulibaly is a year older now. He's in his sophomore season and doing a hell of a job.
So
Bilal Coulibaly.
Right.
Yeah.
You got it down. You got to say it a lot.
I have to.
Yeah, I mean, I know this team was, a couple of years ago sort of in the middle, and now they're starting from the bottom up and getting all these young guys, getting something built. How do you see it? Do you think 2-3 years away from these guys having something?
It's going to take some time. You got to be patient, but we're looking at small wins right now.
Yeah.
So if you can, it's not necessarily about winning the game, but if you can win a quarter with that group.
Yeah, and lessons.
Bub Carrington, if he plays 30 minutes and has 10 assists and 1 turnover, that's a small win.
Yeah.
Even though the game might result in a loss, that's a small win that we're looking for.
Fast too.
There you go.
Yeah, they lead the league in fast break points per game. Wizards getting up and down the court. This is Drew Gooden. I got him to stop in. We appreciate you coming in, stopping in on the warm-up show. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on the warm-up show on Grind City Media.
Who do you see ending up in the SWAC championship game? So give me your East and your West based on what you see right now.
If I had to say from what I've seen this year so far, I think
you're probably going to get a Southern Jackson SWAC championship.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Now every time you go to Miami, you can go see, like, that's a statue of me there.
No, I don't look nothing like that thing, man. Look, I'm sorry.
I would have been offended.
Look at that. That is UTA.
Oh, my God.
That is Cody.
Oh, look.
Hey,
y'all got to get that screenshot. Man. Put that on the.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The three big beats this week. One was root for points in honor of John Roser. How about that Miami-Louisville game?
Good
Crushed
grief.
the over, which was 60. Finished with 97 total points, 52-45. Meanwhile, the Academy's covering again, both Army and Navy, getting the job done.
This.
Army, best start since 96.
America.
Navy crushed Charlotte. They're ranked 23rd and 24th in the country.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Lang Whitaker. We finally got Drew Gooden's headphones dried off.
That was fun, man.
The big drizzle. That's what he wanted us to call him.
I want to grow up and have a beard. I want my beard to grow up one day like that.
You know who told me that Drew's beard was gold for him? Jay Huff.
Ah.
And now when you look at him, it kind of makes sense. They have the same.
They're aligned.
Jay Huff used to be on the Wizards.
Yes.
Got to know Drew a little bit then. Let's go around the NBA like we always do at this time. Lots of topics to talk about. The first thing I saw this the other day, Kevin Pelton tweeted this or posted this on Instagram. It's early in the season, but there have been a lot of fouls called early this season. And even if you graph it next to some of the previous seasons, I know we're early, but it's still way ahead of the chart. Is that because we're early in the season? I think those blue dots are this year.
Yeah.
The red is last year.
Yeah, I think it's early in the season. The officials want to establish, the points of emphasis that they talk about during the offseason. They want to crack down on the physicality of the game. They want it to be played in more of a pace and space. And if you're going to enforce something, you enforce it early, and then you back up a little bit. It's just like disciplining your kids, man. If you want to come in and be a disciplinarian in your household, you got to lay down the law first and then get nice. You don't get nice and then have to try to chase that. It's harder to do it that way.
Yeah.
You and I both have kids. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
But you also see how the red line sort of fades.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I assume those blue are going to fade as the season goes along, and
they are.
See a little less fouls. There was a podcast this week. All these former NBA players have podcasts now. I'm surprised Drew doesn't have one. All these guys have podcasts now, and they all talk about get off my lawn. Deion Waiters was on a podcast this week.
Yeah.
And Downhill Deion said he could still get you 20 points in a game right now, which made me think, Mike, if you needed 20 points in a game right now, what former NBA player is getting your first call to still get you 20 in a game right now?
Whoa. Right now, the first call I'm getting is probably Tyreke Evans.
Ooh.
I mean, he's a guy that's still out there floating. He's putting videos out there showing you how great of a shape he's in. He can get downhill, he can shoot it from the three, and he can get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
So I'm calling him. He's young enough to still go out there and try to be in condition, and he's definitely crafty enough to get you some buckets.
I sprang that question on you. I've thought about it a little bit.
Yeah.
First call is Jamal Crawford.
That's another guy.
I mean, Jamal Crawford or Lou Williams. Either of those guys were just born getting buckets. And I think even now, they were never big muscle guys.
And they're always in shape, right?
Yeah.
As
long as they get up and down the court, get that crossover dribbling,
I think we got three winners in that. Tyreke and Drew, and I mean, we just got some good guys in that.
I would take any of those guys over Deion Waiters. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
All right. right, so the season's still early on, but who do you think so far has been the most surprising, best team in the NBA tier? The Cavs are still 9-0 as we do this. Suns, Thunder, Warriors all sitting at 7-1. Celtics 7-2. Which team has been? Do you think is the best team?
I think the Warriors have surprised me because they did a lot of that. They're 7-1, and they did a lot of that. Maybe half of those games without Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He just came back a game or two ago, and they were able to put some big-time wins together. They just beat Boston in Boston.
Yeah.
So for that team to be going through what they're going through, they moved on from Klay Thompson.
Yep.
They don't have any players over 6'9".
Yeah.
Their rotation is small, and then Buddy Hield is born again. He's Oklahoma Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma Sooner Buddy Hield, and that's the team that surprises me.
He turned into Klay Thompson.
Yes.
He's been amazing.
Yes.
I knew the Thunder were going to be a good regular season team. I had no idea the Cavs are going to start this. I don't know if anybody did. 9-0 start. They've been unbelievable.
That's a historic start for them. Yeah.
And it's not it's pretty much the same team they had a year ago.
Yeah.
It's not like they went out and changed anything. They
Except
still
the
have,
coach.
except Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah.
But they still have the same group of players. It's just they seem more cohesive, or maybe it's just playing together for that long. Something.
One of the things, and to your point, Lang, one of the things that Cleveland didn't have last year, they had guys they weren't as injured as the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
But they when Darius Garland was hurt, then Donovan Mitchell played.
Yeah.
When Darius came back, then you had Allen go out.
Yeah.
Right. So they never had their whole complete lineup for a sustained period of time. Those guys are relatively healthy right now, and they have some depth too. So Cleveland this is not a fluke for them. They're a good team. We'll see if they can do it in the playoffs, though.
That's a big if. And we'll see if the Grizzlies can do it tonight. Again, the Grizzlies taking on the Washington Wizards. It is Military Appreciation Night. There's a World War II veteran over there. Courtside. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. There's not a lot of World War II veterans still with us.
Yeah.
So it's very cool to have some guys like that who sacrifice and risk their lives for what we get to enjoy today, that are here with us tonight.
And if you've seen players walking back and forth behind us, it's because they've been greeting veterans courtside.
I saw Jalen Wells go
too.
over and shake hands up and down, and Jaron was over there
Jaron
too.
took some photos with them as well too. So they're honoring the veterans, and Military Appreciation Night tonight is another one of these fine absolute activations that the Grizzlies do all season.
My father served in the Army during the Korean conflict. My grandfather was in World War II, so I come from a family with a lot of military service. So thank you for your service. If you fit that bill too.
Absolutely.
We're going to see if the Grizzlies can pull this out tonight. The thing that makes me a little nervous is it feels kind of like a trap game against a team that's 2-4. The Grizzlies win against an undermanned Brooklyn Nets team and lost twice. The Grizzlies are a bit undermanned tonight. Who do you think is the key matchup you're going to be having an eye on tonight?
I mean, the matchup I'm looking at most is the front court matchup. I'm looking at, obviously Jonas Valanciunas with that veteran physicality going up against a Zach Edey. This is a guy that Zach Edey said, this is who I've had, one of the guys I've had in my game after. Steven Adams, Jonas Valanciunas, those are the kind of guys that I look forward to. And then the #1 overall pick, Alexander Sarr up against Jaren Jackson Jr. Those are going to be two great matchups to see where one rookie goes up against a veteran in Jaren, and one rookie in Zach goes up against a veteran in Jonas. I think it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, and Zach got off to such a great start against the Lakers the other night, and then LeBron started putting him in the pick and roll, and the Grizzlies were like, all right, let's don't give him this option. So I think tonight might be a little bit of a better match for Zach, and maybe more opportunities for him to kind of show what he can do. I'd also like to see Luke Kennard get going a little bit. I know he's only been back one game, but even in the preseason, he seemed like he was still kind of working his way into it.
Right.
Part of this offense, we haven't seen him play in this offense a lot.
Right.
I think I'd like to see Luke Kennard kind of get something going, and for a team that shot 50% on threes against the Lakers, for him to be able to get going tonight, that just takes you to another level offensively and gives you another option.
Yeah, that's a guy, Lang, that hadn't played since the next to last game in the preseason, right? So it's about conditioning, it's about finding his rhythm, and he told me the other night that, hey, it's going to be a work in progress, but he's glad to be back out there working on that progress.
Well, I'm really excited to see them out there working on that progress in just a second, because we're about half an hour from tip-off. If you want to get down here, there's still time. Come down, buy tickets. If you want to watch it on TV, you go to FanDuel Sports Network. If you want to listen on the radio, ESPN 92.9, or you can still just come down and get a ticket. Come on, it's Friday night. Come
and then the next home game, I wanted to give a shout-out real quick. HBCU night. The next time the Grizzlies are back on this court, the next time you see us, a week from Sunday, November 17th, HBCU night presented by Pinnacle. We're going to have a lot of activations and a lot of fun. And check out my interview at that time with T. Morant, John Morant's father.
Another HBCU
alum, absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Let you guys get ready for this game. Hopefully we see you down there. If not, see you next game. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Lang Whitaker. You've been watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.